In a distant part of the galaxy, the Galactic Empire ruled with an iron fist. It was a massive empire, stretching across thousands of star systems, and its leaders believed they controlled everything worth controlling. The Empire's ships were everywhere, enforcing laws, collecting taxes, and making sure no one dared to oppose them. But there was one place that had always been ignored, a small blue planet called Earth. Earth was far away from the Empire's center, hidden at the edge of known space. For years, it was considered unimportant, just another rock floating in the void. Imperial scouts had visited once or twice but found nothing special. They saw cities, oceans, and forests, but nothing that looked like advanced technology. So Earth was left alone, forgotten by the Empire. That was a mistake. Commander Alex Carter was a high-ranking officer aboard the Empire's flagship, the Vanguard **. He was a serious man with sharp eyes and a habit of questioning things others took for granted. One day, while reviewing reports from scout ships, he noticed something strange. A lieutenant named Lisa Monroe brought him blurry images taken near Earth's orbit. The pictures showed sleek, metallic shapes moving gracefully through space. At first glance, they didn't look like anything humans could build. "What are these?" Carter asked, his voice calm but curious. "We're not sure, sir," Monroe replied. "The scouts reported seeing these ships near Earth. They disappeared before we could get a closer look." Carter frowned. If Earth really had ships like this, it meant they weren't as primitive as everyone thought. He remembered stories from decades ago about other civilizations underestimating humans, only to regret it later. Could Earth be hiding something big? To find out, Carter ordered more probes to investigate. This time, they came back with clearer images. The ships were unlike anything the Empire used. They were smooth, without visible weapons or engines, yet they moved faster than most Imperial vessels. Some even seemed to vanish and reappear in different locations, almost as if they could teleport. Carter shared his findings with Admiral Gregory Stone, the head of the Imperial Navy. Stone was a tall, imposing man who didn't like surprises. When Carter showed him the evidence, Stone dismissed it at first. "Humans, building ships like this? Impossible," he said, waving a hand. "They're probably stolen or borrowed from someone else." But Carter wasn't convinced. "Sir, we can't ignore this. If Earth has developed advanced technology, we need to know why and how. They might pose a threat." Stone reluctantly agreed to send a small fleet to visit Earth. Their mission was simple: assess the situation and remind the humans who was in charge. If Earth turned out to be harmless, the Empire would leave it alone. But if it posed any kind of danger, the fleet was authorized to act. Meanwhile, on Earth, people were preparing for the worst. General Nathan Brooks, a grizzled veteran with a deep love for his planet, had spent years working on a secret project. Known as Project Eclipse, it involved building a fleet of advanced warships designed to protect Earth from alien threats. Brooks knew that someday, someone, or something, would come looking for them. He wanted humanity to be ready. Dr. Rachel Myers, a brilliant scientist, played a key role in the project. She helped design the ships, using cutting-edge technology that pushed the limits of what humans could achieve. Together, Brooks and Myers created a fleet capable of defending Earth, but also of striking back if necessary. As the Empire's ships approached Earth, tension grew. No one knew what would happen next. Would Earth remain a quiet, unimportant planet, or would it reveal itself as something much greater? The answers would come soon enough. For years, Earth had been preparing for a day like this. Hidden beneath layers of secrecy, Project Eclipse was humanity's answer to the unknown dangers of the universe. General Nathan Brooks, a man with graying hair and a steady gaze, had dedicated his life to ensuring that Earth would never be caught off guard. He knew that if aliens ever came, they wouldn't come in peace. And now, it seemed, his fears were becoming reality. Dr. Rachel Myers worked tirelessly alongside Brooks. She was a quiet woman with sharp eyes and an even sharper mind. Her job was to turn science fiction into science fact. Under her guidance, engineers and technicians built ships unlike anything Earth had ever seen. These weren't just spaceships. They were weapons of war, designed to protect humanity at all costs. The crown jewel of the fleet was the Eclipse 1 asterisk, a massive dreadnought armed with plasma cannons and protected by quantum shields. It was faster, stronger, and smarter than any ship currently in service on Earth, or so they hoped. The project wasn't easy. Funding was scarce, and keeping it secret from the public required careful planning. Governments around the world cooperated, setting aside their differences to focus on survival. Factories once used to build cars and appliances were repurposed to construct engines and weapons. Scientists who had never worked together before joined forces, sharing knowledge and ideas. It was a monumental effort, driven by one shared goal: to ensure that Earth could stand its ground against any threat. Brooks often walked through the hangars where the ships were being built. He liked to see the progress firsthand, talking to the workers and offering encouragement. "This isn't just about us," he would say. "It's about everyone on this planet. If we fail, there won't be a second chance." As the Empire's ships drew closer, Brooks called a meeting with his top officers. They gathered in a secure room deep underground, far from prying eyes. On a large screen, images of the approaching fleet flickered. There were dozens of ships, each one bristling with weapons. Brooks studied them carefully, his expression unreadable. "We've trained for this," he said finally. "We know what they're capable of, and we know what we can do. Stick to the plan, and don't let fear cloud your judgment." Among those present was Captain Emily Dawson, a young but highly skilled pilot. She had earned her place in the program through sheer determination, rising quickly through the ranks. Dawson was assigned to command the Eclipse 1 asterisk, a responsibility she didn't take lightly. Her crew included people like Jack Riley, a mechanic who could fix anything, and Amanda Holt, a communications expert with a knack for staying calm under pressure. As the hours ticked by, the atmosphere grew tense. Everyone knew what was at stake. If the Empire discovered Earth's fleet too soon, it could mean disaster. Brooks gave the order to deploy the ships, but only partially. A handful of vessels moved into position near Earth's orbit, cloaked and ready to strike. The rest remained hidden, waiting for the right moment to act. When the Empire's fleet arrived, they expected to find a primitive world with no means of defense. What they found instead shocked them. As their scanners swept the area, they detected strange readings, ships moving silently, almost invisible to their sensors. Admiral Stone, leading the Imperial forces, couldn't believe what he was seeing. How could humans have developed such advanced technology? Then, without warning, Earth's ships revealed themselves. Sleek in silver, they surrounded the Imperial vessels, blocking their path. General Brooks's voice crackled over the communication channel. "You have entered our territory. Leave now or face consequences." Stone laughed at first, thinking it was some kind of trick. But when one of his escort ships was disabled by a precise attack, his laughter died. Earth wasn't bluffing. Whatever these humans had built, it was real, and it was dangerous. Back on Earth, people watched anxiously as news of the encounter spread. For the first time, humanity realized it wasn't alone in the universe, and it also realized it had the power to fight back. The Empire's envoy ship, the Dominion approached Earth cautiously. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge, his arms crossed as he stared out at the blue planet below. He was a confident man, used to getting what he wanted. In his mind, this mission would be quick and easy. The Empire would show its strength, demand Earth's surrender, and leave. There was no reason to believe these humans could resist. But then, something unexpected happened. As the Dominion entered Earth's orbit, dozens of sleek ships appeared out of nowhere. They moved silently, surrounding the Imperial vessel like predators circling their prey. Hale's confidence wavered for a moment, but he quickly regained his composure. "They're just trying to scare us," he muttered to himself. Still, He couldn't ignore the chill running down his spine. General Nathan Brooks watched the scene unfold from Earth's command center. His eyes were glued to the monitors, tracking every move the Empire made. He had spent years preparing for this moment, and now it was here. Brooks gave the order to broadcast a message. Lieutenant Lisa Monroe, seated at the communications console, sent the signal. In clear, calm tones, a voice spoke in universal galactic code. "You have entered our territory. Leave now or face consequences." Hale scoffed when he heard the message. These humans were bold, he had to admit that. But they were still just humans. Primitive, weak, and vastly outnumbered. He ordered his crew to scan the enemy ships, expecting to find outdated technology and clumsy designs. What they discovered instead shocked him. The human ships were advanced, far beyond anything the Empire had seen from other civilizations. Their hulls gleamed with an unknown metal, and their engines emitted no visible exhaust. It was as if they didn't belong to this era of space travel. Hale tried to brush it off. "It doesn't matter how fancy their ships look," he told his officers. "We have the advantage in numbers and firepower." With that, he sent a reply to Earth's message. "This is Captain Marcus Hale of the Galactic Empire. Surrender immediately or face destruction." Brooks listened to the response with a faint smile. He had expected arrogance from the Empire, and Hale didn't disappoint. Turning to Captain Emily Dawson, who stood nearby, he nodded. "Show them we mean business." Dawson relayed the order to her crew aboard the Eclipse 1 *. Within seconds, one of the smaller Imperial ships, a scout vessel, was targeted by Earth's fleet. The burst of energy shot through space, striking the ship's engines. The scout vessel listed helplessly, its systems fried. The attack was precise, designed to disable rather than destroy. It was a warning. On the Dominion *, Hale stared at the damaged scout ship in disbelief. His crew scrambled to analyze what had just happened. How did they do that? One officer asked nervously. Hale clenched his fists but said nothing. He knew the answer. These humans were not to be underestimated. Tension filled the air as both sides waited for the next move. Hale considered launching a counterattack but hesitated. He didn't know how many ships Earth had hidden or what other tricks they might have up their sleeves. For all he knew, this was just the beginning. Reluctantly, he ordered the Dominion * to retreat. "We'll report back to command," he told his crew. "Let them decide what to do next." As the Imperial ship disappeared into the void, Brooks allowed himself a small sigh of relief. The first encounter was over, and Earth had held its ground. But he knew this was only the start. The Empire wouldn't back down so easily. They would return, with more ships, more weapons, and a thirst for revenge. Back aboard the Dominion *, Hale stared at the stars, his mind racing. He had always believed the Empire was invincible. Now, for the first time, he wasn't so sure. Whatever secrets Earth held, they were unlike anything he had ever faced. And deep down, he feared what might happen when the Empire came back for round 2. News of Earth's defiance spread quickly through the Galactic Empire. Emperor Victor Alden, a stern man with piercing eyes and an unshakable belief in the Empire's dominance, was furious. He sat in his throne room, surrounded by advisors who whispered nervously about the situation. Reports from Captain Marcus Hale painted a troubling picture. Earth wasn't just primitive. It was dangerous. The thought of a tiny planet standing up to the mighty Empire enraged Alden. Admiral Gregory Stone, head of the Imperial Navy, tried to calm the Emperor. "Your Majesty, this is nothing more than a minor setback," he said confidently. "Earth may have surprised us once, but they won't survive a full-scale assault. We'll crush them and show the galaxy what happens when someone defies us." Alden nodded, though his expression remained dark. "Do it," he ordered. "Gather every ship we can spare. I want Earth erased as an example to others." Meanwhile, on Earth, General Nathan Brooks prepared for the inevitable. He knew the Empire wouldn't back down after one skirmish. This time, they would bring everything they had, hundreds of ships, thousands of soldiers, and weapons capable of wiping out entire cities. Humanity's survival depended on being smarter, not stronger. Brooks called a meeting with his top officers. In a dimly lit command center, maps of the solar system were projected onto walls, showing possible routes the Empire might take. "They'll come hard and fast," Brooks said, pointing to the largest cluster of red dots representing enemy ships. "We can't win by brute force. Our advantage is strategy and surprise." Captain Emily Dawson listened intently. She had already proven herself in the first encounter, but now the stakes were higher. Her crew aboard the Eclipse 1 worked tirelessly, running simulations and practicing maneuvers. They knew their ship was Earth's best hope, but it couldn't fight alone. Every pilot, engineer, and soldier had to play their part. One key element of Brooks' plan involved decoys. Dr. Rachel Myers and her team had developed small drones that could mimic the appearance of Earth's ships. These drones would be scattered across space, confusing the enemy and drawing their fire away from the real fleet. "Make them waste their ammunition," Brooks instructed. "Every shot they miss is a shot they can't use against us." Another critical component was sabotage. Sergeant Ryan Cole, a lean man with sharp instincts, volunteered to lead a covert operation. His team would infiltrate the Empire's supply lines, disabling fuel depots and disrupting communications. It was risky, but if successful, it could cripple the Imperial forces before they even reached Earth. As days turned into weeks, the Empire's armada grew larger. From distant star systems, ships converged on Earth's location, forming a massive wave of steel and firepower. Imperial commanders bragged about how easily they would crush the human resistance. But deep down, some felt uneasy. Earth had already proven itself unpredictable. When the battle finally began, Earth's fleet executed Brooks' plan flawlessly. Decoy drones lured Imperial ships into traps, where smaller, faster vessels ambushed them. Pilots like Dawson used hit-and-run tactics, striking quickly and retreating before the enemy could respond. The Eclipse 1 served as both a shield and a spear, protecting weaker ships while targeting key enemy vessels. The Empire fought back fiercely, raining destruction on anything that moved. Explosions lit up space as ships on both sides clashed. Despite heavy losses, Earth's forces held firm. Their determination was fueled by the knowledge that failure meant extinction. For every ship lost, 2 more took its place, driven by courage and desperation. Admiral Stone watched the chaos unfold from his flagship, growing increasingly frustrated. Nothing was going according to plan. Earth's fleet seemed to anticipate every move, countering attacks with precision. For the first time, doubt crept into his mind. Could these humans really defeat the Empire? The battle raged on, a chaotic dance of ships weaving through space, firing beams of energy and launching missiles. The Empire's armada was vast, filling the darkness with glowing engines and flashing weapons. But Earth's fleet fought with a cleverness that the Empire hadn't expected. Every move they made seemed to anticipate the enemy's next step. Captain Emily Dawson sat in the command chair of the Eclipse 1 her hands gripping the armrests as she barked orders to her crew. Around her, alarms blared and lights flashed, but Dawson stayed calm. She had trained for this moment her entire career. "Target their shield generators," she said sharply. "If we can disable those, their defenses will collapse." Her crew worked quickly, adjusting the ship's systems to focus fire on a massive Imperial cruiser. The Eclipse 1's plasma cannons roared to life, sending bursts of searing energy toward the enemy. The cruiser's shields flickered under the assault, then failed completely. A cheer erupted from Dawson's crew as the enemy ship listed helplessly, its once mighty weapons now useless. General Nathan Brooks watched the battle unfold from Earth's command center. He felt a mix of pride and tension as he saw his strategies come to life. Decoy drones continued to confuse the Empire's forces, drawing them into ambushes where Earth's smaller ships could strike hard and fast. The Empire's numbers were still overwhelming, but Brooks knew that Earth's ingenuity was tipping the scales. Meanwhile, Sergeant Ryan Cole and his team of operatives carried out their dangerous mission deep behind enemy lines. Disguised in stolen Imperial uniforms, they infiltrated a supply depot orbiting a nearby moon. The depot was bustling with activity, filled with fuel tanks and crates of ammunition. Cole signaled to his team, and they moved quietly, planting explosives at key points. When the charges detonated, the depot erupted in flames, sending shockwaves through the Empire's ranks. Ships that relied on the depot suddenly found themselves without fuel or supplies, forcing them to retreat. Back in the main battle, Admiral Gregory Stone grew increasingly desperate. His fleet was losing ground, and he couldn't understand why. Earth's ships seemed to appear out of nowhere, striking swiftly and disappearing before his forces could counterattack. "Find their flagship," he shouted to his officers. "Destroy it, and the rest will fall." Stone's words reached Captain Marcus Hale, who commanded one of the Empire's largest battleships. Hale scanned the battlefield, searching for any sign of Earth's command vessel. Then he spotted it, the Eclipse 1 *. Its sleek design and powerful weapons marked it as the heart of Earth's resistance. Hale ordered his ship to pursue it, determined to take down the symbol of humanity's defiance. Dawson noticed the Imperial battleship closing in and immediately adjusted her tactics. "Activate the cloaking device," she ordered. The Eclipse 1 * shimmered and vanished from sight, leaving Hale's ship chasing empty space. Moments later, Dawson reappeared behind the enemy vessel, launching a barrage of missiles that crippled its engines. The battleship drifted away, helpless. As the fight wore on, the Empire's forces began to falter. Their numbers dwindled, their ships damaged or destroyed. Admiral Stone watched in horror as his once invincible armada struggled to hold its ground. For the first time, he realized that Earth might actually win. Brooks saw the turning tide and gave the order for a final push. Earth's fleet surged forward, targeting the remaining Imperial ships with relentless precision. Explosions lit up the void as more and more enemy vessels were taken out of commission. The Empire's soldiers, once confident in their superiority, now fought with uncertainty. Finally, Admiral Stone made the difficult decision to retreat. "Withdraw," he commanded, his voice heavy with defeat. "Regroup and report back to the Emperor." As the Empire's ships limped away, Earth's forces let out a collective sigh of relief. They had won the battle, but they all knew the war was far from over. Still, for the first time, humanity had proven that it could stand up to the greatest power in the galaxy. And that knowledge gave them hope. The Empire's retreat was a bitter pill for Admiral Gregory Stone to swallow. He sat in his command chair aboard the flagship, staring at the empty screens where Earth's ships had once been. The battle was over, but the humiliation lingered. Never before had the Empire faced such a defeat. Stone clenched his fists, his mind racing with questions. How had Earth done it? How could a tiny planet with no prior reputation for space warfare outsmart the mighty Galactic Empire? Back on Earth, General Nathan Brooks allowed himself a brief moment of relief. The victory was hard-fought and costly, but it proved something important. Humanity wasn't weak. It could stand up to even the strongest enemies. Brooks walked through the command center, patting soldiers on the back and thanking them for their bravery. "We've shown them we're not afraid," he told his team. "But this isn't the end. They'll be back, and we need to be ready." Dr. Rachel Myers worked tirelessly with her engineers to repair damaged ships and upgrade weapon systems. The Eclipse 1 * had taken a beating during the battle, but its core systems were intact. Myers knew they couldn't afford to rest. If the Empire returned, and they would, they'd bring even more firepower. "We have to stay ahead of them," she said to her team. "Every advantage counts." Captain Emily Dawson felt a mix of pride and exhaustion as she stepped off the Eclipse 1 *. Her crew had performed miracles, But she knew the next fight would be harder. The Empire wouldn't make the same mistakes twice. She spent hours reviewing the battle footage, looking for ways to improve their tactics. They underestimated us this time, she told her second-in-command, Jack Riley. Next time, they'll come prepared. Meanwhile, Sergeant Ryan Cole and his cover team continued their sabotage missions. They struck at Imperial outposts and supply lines, keeping the enemy off balance. Their actions didn't just disrupt logistics, they also inspired other oppressed planets under the Empire's control. News of Earth's victory spread quickly, sparking rebellions across the galaxy. Planets that had long suffered under Imperial rule now saw hope. If Earth could stand up to the Empire, maybe they could too. Emperor Victor Alden was furious when he received Stone's report. He slammed his fist on the table, demanding answers. How could this happen? He roared. Earth is nothing, a speck of dust, and yet you let them humiliate us. Stone tried to defend himself, but Alden wouldn't listen. Prepare another fleet, the Emperor ordered. I want Earth destroyed. Leave no trace of their defiance. Despite the looming threat, Earth celebrated its victory quietly. Cities lit up with fireworks, and people gathered in streets to cheer. For the first time, humanity felt united, not just as nations, but as a single species fighting for survival. Leaders from around the world addressed the public, praising the courage of the soldiers and scientists who had made the win possible. General Brooks used the moment to rally support for the next phase of defense. This battle showed us what we're capable of, he said during a televised speech. But we can't stop now. The Empire will return, and we must be stronger than ever. As repairs continued and new recruits joined the ranks, Earth's leaders began planning for the future. They knew the Empire wouldn't give up easily, but they also knew something else. Humanity had proven it could adapt, innovate, and fight. Whatever came next, Earth would face it together. Across the galaxy, whispers of rebellion grew louder. Oppressed worlds watched Earth's example and began organizing resistance movements. The Empire's grip on the galaxy was starting to weaken, all because of one small planet that refused to bow down. The Empire's second attack never came. For weeks, Earth's leaders waited anxiously, preparing for another massive invasion. The fleet remained on high alert, and civilians braced themselves for the worst. But as time passed, it became clear that something had changed. Reports from across the galaxy revealed that the Empire was struggling to maintain control. Rebellions were breaking out on dozens of planets, sparked by Earth's unexpected victory. Emperor Victor Alden's forces were stretched thin, trying to suppress uprisings while also rebuilding their shattered armada. General Nathan Brooks watched these developments with cautious optimism. He knew the Empire wasn't defeated. It was merely distracted. Still, this gave Earth a chance to rebuild and strengthen its defenses. Factories worked around the clock to produce new ships and weapons. Scientists like Dr. Rachel Myers pushed the boundaries of technology even further, developing upgrades that made Earth's fleet faster, stronger, and more efficient. Captain Emily Dawson spent her days training pilots, sharing lessons learned from the first battle. She emphasized teamwork, quick thinking, and adaptability. The Empire will come back, she told her squadron. And when they do, we need to be ready. As Earth recovered, its people began to dream bigger. The victory over the Empire had shown them what was possible. Leaders around the world started discussing ways to expand humanity's reach into space. New colonies were planned on nearby moons and planets, ensuring that Earth wouldn't be caught off guard again. The United Nations transformed into a global council focused on unifying humanity's efforts in the stars. Meanwhile, Sergeant Ryan Cole and his team continued their covert operations. They traveled to distant systems, helping oppressed planets organize resistance movements. These missions weren't easy, but Cole found purpose in the work. Every rebellion weakened the Empire's grip, bringing hope to millions. Word spread quickly about Earth's role in inspiring these revolts. To many, Earth had become a symbol of freedom, a beacon of light in a galaxy ruled by fear. Emperor Alden watched his empire crumble with growing frustration. His advisors urged him to focus on internal threats, but he couldn't let go of Earth. "They started this," he growled during a private meeting. "If we don't crush them, every planet will think they can rise up." Yet even Alden had to admit that launching another attack on Earth wasn't feasible. Not yet. His resources were depleted, and his soldiers' morale was low. On Earth, life slowly returned to normal, or at least as normal as it could be after such an event. Cities rebuilt their damaged infrastructure, and schools taught children about the battle that changed everything. People looked to the sky not with fear, but with pride. Humanity had proven itself capable of standing toe-to-toe with the greatest power in the galaxy. General Brooks addressed the United Nations one final time, declaring Earth's emergence as a sovereign power. "We've shown the galaxy that we're not just survivors. We're builders, explorers, and fighters," he said. "From this day forward, Earth will take its place among the stars." The ripple effects of Earth's victory continued to spread. Oppressed worlds gained confidence, knowing they weren't alone. The Empire's once unshakable dominance faltered, replaced by uncertainty and unrest. Though challenges remained, one truth was undeniable: Earth had changed the course of history. And somewhere in the vastness of space, Emperor Alden stared out at the stars, vowing revenge. But deep down, he knew humanity's spirit could never be extinguished.